So here we have Sessile Trillium. Sessile meaning stalkless, and as you can see, the flower comes up without not being attached to a stalk. It just comes almost straight out of it. Trilliums, everything in threes, 3 leaves, 3 sepals, 3 everything. This is a woodland ephemeral wildflower. Comes out in the springtime before the trees leaf out, produces everything it needs to, stores everything in the roots before the trees leaf out, and then dies back. Comes a couple of color forms, a yellow, green mostly, and then this beautiful maroon one you get every once in a while. Now, unlike a lot of other plants, this one's main pollinators are beetles, click beetles to be a matter of fact. And as you can maybe see, there is a click beetle right there on this particular plant. And there's more right there. In my experience, it seems to be, well, here comes another one, just landed on the plant. My experience with this is that those are the main pollinators. And beetles are kind of messy pollinators. They consume a lot of the pollen. And so what ends up happening is they come to this plant and they come to it to get 2 things. One, they get food, but they also, since they're already gathered here, they use them as little mating stands. Little orgies usually take place inside here. Now, I have not opened this one up, but I'm very curious if there's actually anything going on inside the actual leaves. And if there are beetles, actually, so I'm pulling aside everything. I do not see a lot of, oh, there are beetles in there. It's very difficult to see them. I don't know if you can make them out, but there are beetles inside there, all doing what beetles do this time of year. Now, Sessile Trilliums are not very common plants. It can take between 3 to 7 years for an individual to bloom. So this is an older plant, and I'm very lucky that it has bloomed. And hopefully it'll get pollinated by these beetles or something else, and then produce seeds. The seeds that it produce are more myrmecophorous, meaning they're dispersed by ants. They produce a special little attachment onto the side of the seed called an elaiosome, sometimes a caruncle. And this growth, it's basically a growth of proteins and lipids, sometimes even exudes different kinds of pheromones that certain ants find delectable. So they come over, take the seed, take it back to their nest, where they discard what they consider the unedible portion, which is the seed. And when they do, they put it in their little trash mittens, which means it's a nice, rich place where it's protected, it's been moved, and it's been planted in a rich, fertile ground to grow. And so ants are the main dispersers for these things. So you can thank the ants for these beautiful displays of this beautiful wildflower. And again, these are Sessile Trilliums, sometimes called toad shade trilliums. I guess they could provide shade for a toad, but Sessile or toad shade trilliums are most common here in the DC area trillium wildflower. A beautiful, beautiful spring wildflower. Again, this is the maroon colored ones. You oftentimes can find a light green version as well, even lemony. Oh, and here comes another pollinator. Oh, and he did not land. Again, it's mostly beetles that pollinate these things. So here is a Sessile Trillium. This is one of the maroon colored flowers, and it's hard to see. I don't see them now, but inside is a click beetle. And I seem to find this all the time.
It's right there.
There you go. I seem to find this all the time, and I theorize beetles are good pollinators. And on both magnolias and on Sessile Trilliums, I've seen where they combine together, and they use these as both feeding pads as well as, since they're already feeding there anyways, gather together for breeding orgies, basically. And so I really wish I could find out what kind of click beetles these are, because I keep seeing what I believe are the same species of click beetle that I think may be one of the pollinators for Sessile Trillium in our area, because I always seem to find them dwelling inside, both eating the pollen, but while they're doing it, also mating. So click beetles and Sessile Trillium here in Alexandria, Virginia.
They usually ask for a straight-on dorsal shot when it comes to
and
beetles.
I don't know. And boy, that's gonna be. I'm gonna have to move it and pull it in. You're gonna have to move it and put it in a container.
Yeah,
I got a jar, so we'll do that. So we're gonna do that. I'm clicking off the video now. We're going to get a better sample so that we can see if we can identify this guy.